I searched the world for my ever to put my heart back together, together. Put my broken heart back together, 'cause your way's better. Jesus, your way's better. Jesus, your way's better. I searched the world for my ever to put my heart back together, 'cause your way's better. Jesus, your way's better. Diving into crochet for your first time. I'll show you things you'll need, tips and tricks, and things for your basic crochet. I don't know why I have something inside of me right now that's freaking me out with things behind me. I don't know. There's nothing there. We don't have that type of house, and I don't believe in that stuff. So I don't know why shadows and big things behind me that are in this closet of my sister's is freaking me out. Give me a second. I did the best I can to make me feel a little better. Oh no. Sorry for that. Little. Every time. Just see? Better be. We should be okay now. Um. Oh, Now those are not really anything. It's just what it already is because we have too many curtains right there. Anyway, here's my passage. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his promise. Romans 8:28. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you that you guys gathered today for a good calming and spiritual time with God and crochet. Dive right in with me and feel the relaxingness of learning crochet with God and everything. It should be peaceful and everything. And just help me do the best I can. All right. Amen. Alrighty, guys. So these are the yarns that I really sorry for my TV. We have an issue that's going to ruin my TV. So if I can, I'm going to mute it. It's the same thing that was on my phone, and that's not going to go into what it is because you don't want to expose those things. But anyway, sorry about that. These are the yarns that I like. They're from Amazon. This one is Mira Handcrafts. And you can buy them in a bag with a whole bunch of them, different colors, different shades, and everything. And that's an acrylic, if you're wondering. And this one is an acrylic too. Inspires Craft, acrylic yarn, 100% acrylic material. And that one also is is a really good one too. You can buy on Amazon with a whole bunch of different color stuff. The other thing you'll need are your crochet hooks. And there's different ones I like here and exciting. And here's my one for my first time learning to crochet. I kind of aspire from for that. I found story time. Before that, I found it's a size of a sewing needle. If you know what it, like if you need to like if you need to mend something on a shirt or any item or anything, if you know what I'm talking about. And it was that kind of size, but it had a little hook on the end. And me and my sister didn't know what it was really, but we kind of took it in our own initiative. That, well, I kind of know what it is because I knit, and we have knitted for maybe basically almost a year before we found this thing. And we didn't have the type of yarn for it because we used a lot of bigger yarn because we're still getting there to learn and all that. And then we thought, well, we can use some thread, like sewing thread. And so we tried that. Wow, we made a chain without even looking at any videos because we didn't have anything to go on the internet at the time back then. And then eventually, years went around, we had a computer and we go on there, go on YouTube, and we learned a bit from there, but not very often did we go on that because we are still, I think, young at the time, very young. I was 8 when I learned. So no, I must have been like 9. My sister was 8. So forth. But anyway, we did that. And then eventually we spiraled from there for crochet. But now I do the type of crochet because I have got taught by a crochet lady at my knit shop because we used to go there for knitting. And she had a free crochet time that she would do for me and my sister. And it wasn't the type of crochet that I do today. And it was kind of difficult. My brain was like confused of what do you do? I don't know that stitch. I don't know how you do this or that. But I do the crochet called amigurumi. Amigurumi is an easy step-by-step learning process of learning to crochet, easy stitches that you can do on any project, at any crochet project. And eventually I'll show you a project I have made. But at this very moment, we're just diving into the first beginnings of crochet. And you can use that amigurumi patterns for like I'd say the style of stitches for different, patterns you find out there. Because not all patterns are going to be amigurumi, but you can figure them out since you did an easy amigurumi patterns. But some people stick with the amigurumi patterns because they're just fun. And you can make small projects, a little bit bigger ones, and they're fast and quick. So I have this cook too, and it's like this. What I was saying about this one, my first time one, and my dog before chewed on this one, so I don't really use it, and I kept it anyway. And my sister got rid of hers, but I kept mine anyway. I didn't really have to, but I did anyway for the purpose of remembering and stuff. And that was my first time, and we had a kit that came with a video to teach us as well. And that was fun that time. But I also have this smaller one, and it's plastic. Some of them that get kind of small and that are plastic like this can be bendable. And I find when you're doing really tight stitches, if you're really tight, they break. So it's best to go to something that's the same size as this, that are like these kind. And these kind are metal on the inside, but on the outside they have the grippies. And I like that for people who have hands that are bendy, more older, or if you're just learning and you can't hold this one like this. It's just like this, but in here on a what do you call it? A rubber grip. So that's what makes it look and feel more bigger. And I do go to these ones as well as I do with these. But this one has bump. This one has bump, one bump. And it's doesn't matter how many bumps it has. It just helps you hold your fingers in the right place. But me, I hold my yarn and then, do it because I don't use this hand to do it. Some people just go like this and use this hand to help them when they do it. But that's not really the technique of stuff. And this is also the same size as this one. No, this is a little bit smaller. If you go up, I believe if you go up in letters, it's bigger. If you go, let me see, because this one, and if you go down in letters, then it's smaller hook. And another thing is you might want a measuring tape when you're crocheting, because you might want to measure how long it is, what it tells you to measure as, and you can have one or use a ruler, a small ruler if you want to. And you'll need a pair of scissors to cut it when you're done. You'll know, that's basic. Most people should already know that. And the other thing is you'll need stitch markers or there's another name for them, and I remembered them just a minute ago. It will come to me eventually. But once I do, I can let you know. Because they call them different things too. And I like the ones with, these ones are metal and colorful metal as well, and they're a little bit smaller if you prefer that for certain kind of yarn. But I like these ones that are called plastic, and they're the brand Clever, Clover. And these ones can get expensive depending on how many you want, because you can get them in a pack of 5 for cheap, pack of 10, keep going up, expensive because of brand. And then you can clip it onto your yarn as you are counting rows. It says crochet up to, sorry I said knitting because I like knitting too, crochet up to 5 rows, and then you put down, then do the certain stitch at the 5th row, and then you need to put that there so you know where you are. And when you get done and you cut your yarn, you'll need a darning needle or sewing needle. And like this, doesn't have to have a little curve, but I do because it's just easier just to get in. But when you do crochet, I can show you sometime. You have to go into thicker areas. That so it doesn't show on the opposite side. If you go into the parts that are a little bit see-through, you wouldn't want it to show on the other side. And you'll cut it off, and then you'll, little edge part, and then you'll be good. But I'll show you that a different time. But I'm going to be using for our beginning of crochet, this one is a G. And if you want to grab your supplies, what you need for crochet, go right ahead, and I'll wait for you and come back and we'll start. All right, you all got your materials? All right, I'm going to start. I'm going to use, starting with the pink, and I'm going to show you the basics of crocheting. If it doesn't look like you can tell what it is, I can go to my darker yarn. But sometimes in these small yarns, it's okay to go on the outer side, outer part to get your end to start. But sometimes I like to go on the inside because my yarn doesn't flop around. But then you'll have sometimes sorry about that, my phone went off again. And I'm sorry I'm doing that. I'm just turning it off so I have to keep hearing that. Amber Alert. And so I'll just go in the, it's because it might make a mess because I'm bringing out too much yarn. But using the more easier, bigger ones, you can pull them out easier and start, or they have them poking out just a little bit, and it's easier. But some people find what part is, this one's little, the hole's more small, and this hole's more bigger, then that means where the hole's bigger, your yarn comes through that area. So I'm going to start with my pink, and I'm going to make a slip knot. I like to hold my yarn right here like this in my palm, the end, and wrap around again where it's next to each other and right where it's on top. You see that? I'm going to pull this through. Try it again. I'll show you again. Wrap around. See, it's on my hand, and my other yarn is right here on my pointer finger and my thumb and my ring finger. Would have right in between of those ring finger and not ring finger, pointer finger and tall man, like this, and wrapping on top of your hand. Wrap under again and back next to the yarn. Grab the yarn that's facing towards you, not away from you, towards you, and pull it out. I'll show you again. So this yarn's going to be in front like that, around, and we got it. And I'm going to pull it till it comes up onto our hook. We got it like that. And we're not going to use our tail. I just got a little too much tail for mine anyway. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to cut that. Make it a little smaller, but not too small because you want to be able to sew that in when you're done. And then wrap yarn top, pull it through and off. You're gonna have your, I'm pulling my loop bigger, stab inside, grab its guts, pull it out, and throw it over a cliff. That's when you have your yarn off your hook. Now I'm going to show you again. I'm going to pull my loop again, stab it, grab the yarn, pull it through and off the cliff. When you pull it through, that's what the loop goes off a cliff. So I'm going to show you again. I'm not going to stab it. I have it stabbed. I have its guts. I pull the guts out of him, and it's still on my, and the person's still on my hook with the guts out. See, here's the guts, and here's the guy. Then we pull it all the way through, and then we throw the man off the cliff after we get the guts out. As a joke, to help you learn to crochet, I saw that on a TikTok, and I thought it was pretty funny. But you just want to go pull it through the loop, pull the yarn back through, and throw the yarn off your hook. And you do that till it tells you how many, whatever pattern you're doing, and you keep on doing that. If you want more in-depth on this kind of stuff, I could show you, but in the loop, grab the yarn, pull it through the loop, and the loop comes off with a loop on your needle, on your hook. I meant your hook, needle. That's funny because I'm a crocheter, so, and I'm a knitter, but yes, I said crochet, but I meant knitter because I'm a first-time knitter, meaning I knit all the time, and second crochet, but I might say the wrong context at the wrong time, but in resemblance, you'll know. Okay, we do it again. We have our loop on our hook. We'll wrap this yarn around. We pull it through the loop, and off goes the loop, and the other loop stays on. And we do that till we have about, say, as many as your pattern says. But I'm just doing mine to show you. And I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 of mine on here. And say that you have to have 20, 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't like that jump scare. 20 on there. And that was funny. I just had a funny jump scare in my own mind. Okay, 20. But you have to have an extra one for the edge, because every time you get to the edge, you have to add a stitch. I'll show you. So you just make one more, 21, and that's not one you go through. And you're going through the 20th one. And you'll have 2 loops on your hook like this. See? Like that. That's what it should look like if you're going to go through a chain now for your project. So you have that. Then you're going to grab your yarn, wrap it around, and pull it through those 2 loops on your hook. And you should have 1 loop on your hook now. Then you're going to go through the next chain loop. You should have 2 on your hook again, like this. Wrap your yarn on your hook like this. Hold your yarn and the chain and pull them on through. And sometimes with the first chain, you might find it a little hard. Then when you get further and further and further, it gets easier. Then you can go through another chain. And do the same thing again. And then I'll meet you when I get that part done. Then I'll show you the next step of and at the end of the row, because I showed you how to do the chain now. If you want to go back and watch that part again of how I did that, you can. But if you want just one depth video that's short, that just shows you how to crochet, like you've seen a lot. Some people can go with slower motion, very slow motions, then they can learn very quickly. And there's that. I'm just about done with mine. If you're not, because it might be your first time, and if not, and you just wanted to do it with me just to have some fun, that's fine too. But I find sometimes I'll make a loop a little too tight, and I struggle to get my hook in there sometimes. I have to be very careful with that, because sometimes I get kind of rough. And I don't realize that, and people tell me, but most of the time I'm not. This is very rare. So I came to the end with my last part of my chain, and your chain may be like this where it loops in on itself. That's normal. You just can pull on it a little bit and stretch it just a little bit, and then it goes back, but it might curve just a little bit until you get a couple more rows done. So I got that one on my last one. I'm doing my last one right now. Okay. Before you turn to do your next row, you're gonna chain 1. That means you just put you still have a loop on your needle, on your hook, and then wrap your yarn around like you're going to do normal. Just pull it through, and that's your chain at the end. That's extra. That's supposed to be it. Or you'll start getting a triangle on the side, where it goes up like a triangle like this. And I don't think you want your knitting to look like that. Then you'll come back on the next row and just go with that 20th one, because you have 20 on here, and do the same, and you'll have you'll go through 2 loops this time. I forgot to say that. 2 loops this time. You'll have 2 loops that you went through your chain, and the one that's already on your hook. So you have those 2 plus that 1. You go all through 3. And it's going to be like that the rest of the, so you'll have 2, I gotta take that one back out because I forgot to show you something. Okay, you have those 3. You go through the first one, and then you'll have 2 on your hook. Then you're going to go through those 2. And that's what you're going to do all the way across the row until you get to the end. I'll show you again. You'll have 2 on your hook, and that third one, go through the first 2. You'll have 2. Now go through those 2. Same thing. You'll have 2, 3, and you'll go through the first 2. Now you have 2 on your hook, and go those 2. And now you're just going to crochet all the way to the end, like I'm doing right here, showing you. Two, 2. Tell yourself 2, 2. Go through the 2. Now go through the 2. Go through the 2. Go through the 2. And that's an easy way to remember. Then you don't go through just one on the top and then it makes a ridge on your row. If you want that, some patterns will call for that, but I'm not going to go into that right now because that's not, we're not going into depths of patterns right now. We'll do that some other time, but oh, I went through 1 on the top. I don't want that. You have to go through 2, 2, and 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. You remind yourself that. Oops, I went through that. So at the end, now you're going to chain 1. And you see how it's getting bigger? It's just my yarn split a little bit, but oh well. It's not going to make a big difference when I come across because I'll grab it. So you see how it's getting 2 rows so far? I'm going to do this 1 more row, and then I'll come back and show you. I think you might have got the idea of how to crochet. If you want to go back and look at those parts that I've just showed you, that's fine. Now I have 3 rows done, like this. And stay tuned for more depths on crochet and techniques. And I'll see you later with yarnies. Bye!